Hey everyone, my name is Seth Yolorda, and I'm a speaker, coach, and consultant, and I help individuals and organizations gain clarity, build momentum, and achieve strategic results. And I want to thank you so much for taking some time to listen or to watch this episode today. Today, I want to dive into the topic of helping you as an individual gain extreme clarity for your life. I often get asked to coach individuals one-on-one, helping them with figuring out where they are, where they're going, how are they going to actually get there. My background is with strategic planning, so really helping organizations gain clarity. I do that for both organizations and individuals. And today I want to give you the 40, I know it's a lot, 40 questions you have to answer in order to gain clarity in every domain of your life. Now, I'm not going to give you all 40 right now in this episode. We're only going to deal with 20 right now, and then we'll do a 20 next time. But this is going to be an episode where you're going to want to take some notes. You're going to want to write these down. And I want you to commit to yourself to actually sit and answer each one of these questions. Don't just think about the answer. No, that's not good enough. Not for this episode. And I think sometimes what you and I do is we often feel as though because I thought about it, that means I actually did it. But thinking about doing something and doing that thing are two totally different things. So I don't want you to get that dopamine hit and that little bit of satisfaction because you felt like, well, I thought about it, so therefore I should have clarity. No. Thinking about clarity and actually doing the hard work to gain clarity are two totally different things. So I want you to actually take some time and write down your answers to each one of these questions. This is the difference between people who live and operate and execute with extreme clarity and those individuals who do not. This is the difference right here. So I want you to do your future self a favor and take some time to write down the answers. And I'm going to give them to you they're going to really cover the 5 domains. And when I say 5 domains, I define the domains of your life as in your faith, your finances, your fitness, your family, and your future. Your future is like your future self, your career, your contribution to this world, right? What is your contribution to society? That is your academic contribution, your professional contribution, like what you do for a living. So that is your faith, your finances, your family, your fitness, which is your health, and your future, which is your contribution to the world. And so if you take the time to write down your answers for each one of these questions, you will come away from these 2 episodes having extreme clarity. And just a sidebar really quickly. Clarity is the thing that you and I desperately need more than anything else. I have a friend who's in the military, and he told me once that while he was going through training, they told him that even the best sniper can't hit his target in the fog. And when he said that to me, it hit me because that is how you and I often live our lives. We live our lives in the fog, and we're wondering why we can't hit the target. Not even the best sniper in the military, the Marines, the Navy SEALs. If it's foggy outside, they won't be able to hit the target. And they are phenomenal sharpshooters. So for you and I, we have to do everything we can that's within our power to lift the fog so that we can hit the target. So I want to start with giving you the first 5 questions that I want you to take some time to answer. And these first 5 questions are really core to your identity. Everything flows from your identity. And I have previous episodes that really deal with identity and who you are and how you live from the inside out. So these first 5 questions are really speaking to your core identity. And the first question is simply, who are you at your core? Beyond your roles, beyond your responsibilities, who are you? Now, you can start by saying, well, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a brother. Like, yeah, I'm an accountant, I'm an educator, I'm a nurse, I'm a pastor, I'm a coach, like whatever. Like you can start by listing out your roles and responsibilities, But I want you to then begin to drill down. After you list out everything you have, and then you get down to your ethnicity. Well, I'm an African American, I'm a Caucasian, I'm an Indian, I'm a Hispanic, right? Whatever it is, right? I want you to list it all the way down. I'm from Mexico, wherever you're from. I want you to list it all the way out, and then I want you to keep going. And at your very core, I want you to identify, who are you at your core? Now, this is one of those questions where it's going to take you some time, right? And you might get down to the very last thing. You have a white sheet of paper and you filled it all with all of these other identities and all of these roles and responsibilities that you fill, and you're still not sure. Well, who you are all of those things, but you're also more than all of those things. And so you have to be able to distill it down to your very core. So for example, for me, I would distill all of those things down to, at my core, I'm a child of God. When it's all said and done. Like, take away me being married. God forbid I get divorced one day. God forbid, I lose everything. I'm no longer a coach, a speaker, a consultant. God forbid my business is taken away from me. God forbid I do something crazy and I get locked up and I'm put in prison. My family forsakes me. God forbid all of those things, and I no longer have all of those roles and responsibilities. Who am I? Who am I at my core? For me, the way I would answer that question, for me, this is not for you, this is for me, is at my core, I'm a child of God. At my core, I am loved by God. That is who I am at my core. And so because that is core to who I am, it then informs everything else. But I want you to go through that exercise, and you might come to a different who you are, because who you are is different than who I am. So you might come to a different answer once you distill everything all the way down. But question number one is, who are you at your core? Question number two is, what are your top 3 values and how do they guide your decisions? What are the top 3 values in your life and how do they guide your decisions? A value is simply you saying to yourself, if my family and my coworkers and my best friends were in a room together and they were having a conversation about me and I wasn't in the room, what would I hope they would say? What would I hope they would say about me? And whatever 2 or 3 or 4 words that you would hope your family, your friends, your coworkers, your neighbors would say about you, the reason why you would hope they would say that about you is because that is important to you. It is a core value of yours. So you can use that exercise to kind of help you distill down, what are your top 3 core values? What are the things that are most important to you? What really makes you who you are? Question number 3. What brings you deep joy and fulfillment? What brings you deep joy and fulfillment? It may be spending time with my family. It may be on the golf course. Like, that's for me. I love being on the golf course. It brings me deep joy and fulfillment. It may be, working out or exercising or talking to your friends or going on vacations or being at the beach or in the mountains or whatever it might be, working on a project. Everyone has their own. And I want you to answer that. What gives you deep joy and fulfillment? And you can add a part 2 to that question is, when do you get a sense of accomplishment? Write down 5 or 6 times in your life where you can think back and you've had a really big sense of accomplishment. And it could be big things like, hey, I graduated from college, I felt really accomplished, or I get a sense of accomplishment when I clean the kitchen. Like, as simple as that is, when I can walk into a dirty kitchen, clean it, and I walk away and I sit back like, wow, I did that, I get a sense of accomplishment. Right? So what are those things that brings you deep joy, deep fulfillment, and a sense of accomplishment? Question number 4. What beliefs or assumptions about yourself might be holding you back? What beliefs or assumptions about yourself might be holding you back? We're going to get deep. What are the things that you, maybe on a subconscious level, and if you don't really know the answer to that question, you might want to ask someone who knows you really well. Maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your kids, right? Maybe it's your parents, maybe it's a best friend, a coworker, your boyfriend, girlfriend, someone who knows you really well. Why don't you ask them, hey, what are some things that I believe about me that might be holding me back? Gather that information, write it down. Everyone, I just want to take a minute and invite you to join the Accelerate Clarity Coaching Cohort. This is a coaching cohort designed for individuals who are serious about crushing their goals, and they recognize they need to be a part of a community that will hold them accountable and that will support them as they accelerate towards their future self. If that's you, I want you to go to visionclarityconsulting.com/accelerate. You get all the information there. We meet twice
a week. We have hot seats. We have quarterly masterminds. This is designed for individuals who want to take serious the call on their life. And so if that's you, jump over to that website. I'll put the link below. You can learn all about it. This is a 12-month process. It's a 12-month coaching cohort where we are going to make sure that you reach your goals, whatever your goals would be: financial, fitness, your faith, spiritual goals, professional goals, personal goals, whatever your goals will be. These are for individuals who say, you know what? I need community. I need support. I want to make sure I'm not doing this thing alone. I want you to check out visionclarityconsulting.com/accelerate. I'll see you there. Peace.
Question number 5. How do you want to be remembered by people that you care about? And this kind of goes back to, what do you hope people would say about you? But how do you want to be remembered? What are those words, those descriptive words? What do you want people to say about you when you're dead and gone? Hopefully later than sooner. But when it happens, as it will for all of us, how do you want to be remembered? There's an exercise that I often lead a lot of people through when we're going through this clarity work. It's really around writing out your eulogy. So what would you hope that your wife or your partner would say? What would you hope that your kids would say? Write 3 or 4 sentences of what you hope your neighbors would say. And you're actually writing out your eulogy. These first 5 questions are really self-reflection, identity questions. And these questions are core to you gaining clarity for your overall life. You cannot have clarity as far as where you're going and what the top of the mountaintop looks like if you are not clear around what's around you right now. I have to have clarity around what's around me right now. I have to have clarity on what's in me right now before I can have clarity on what direction I'm headed in my life. So after you've answered those identity questions, then I want you to answer these questions that are related to vision and purpose. Question number 6. What does your ideal life look like 5 years from now? This is a clarity question. 5 years from now, what does your faith look like? What does your finances look like? What does your family look like? What does your fitness and health look like? And what is your future or your contribution, your career, your academic pursuits? What does that look like? And write it out. Question number 7. If you had unlimited resources, how would you spend your time? So if you had a blank check, what would you do, right? And really, what would you do after the novelty of having a blank check wore off, right? Okay, man, I got unlimited resources. I would spend all day playing golf, right? That's what I would do, right? But then after you spent like 30 days in a row playing golf, now what, right? Are you guys going to do that forever? Like really sit with it. After the novelty of being able to do whatever I wanted to do wears off, then what would I do? Because it's that it's when the high comes down and then we're stuck with the reality of like, what is my contribution? Like, what difference would I make in this world? That's what we want to get to right now. Question number 8. What is the one thing that you feel called to contribute to the world? These questions might feel similar, but these are all questions I ask my clients as we're working together to gain clarity. What is the one thing that you would feel called to contribute to the world? What difference do you want to make in the world when it's all said and done? Question number 9, what problem do you feel uniquely positioned to solve? I believe that every person is a solution to a problem, that when you were born into this world, that you were not born as an accident, you are not an afterthought, even though you might have been an oops to your parents. God saw you, ordained you, allowed you to come forth in the circumstances that you came forth in, some better than others, that's life. But when you were born to be a solution to a problem. Now, many of us have been raised and socialized because of all of the craziness in the world. Many of us have been raised and socialized to feel as though we are the problem. But you are not the problem. You are a solution to the problem. Now, you might say, well, I got a whole lot of problems. And yeah, that's life. We all have a whole lot of problems. But in spite of you having a whole lot of problems, you are still a solution to a big capital P problem. So what problem do you feel uniquely positioned to solve? Question number 10, what kind of impact do you want to have on the people around you? What do you want people to feel when you walk into the room? And what do you want people to feel when you leave the room? When it's all said and done, like you come into a room, how do you want people to feel? What emotions, what experiences do you want people to have in your presence? What kind of impact do you want to have on the people around you? So these are vision and purpose questions. Now I'm going to ask you another set of questions which really focus on your goals and your priorities, right? Question number 11. What are your top 3 priorities right now? So I like to call this the WIN, what's important now. Question number 12. Are you focusing on what truly matters, or are you distracted by the urgent? So when you think about your life and you think about what's important now, your top 3 priorities, and you think about your 5-year, where you want to go in 5 years, asking yourself this question, am I focusing on what truly matters right now, or am I distracted by the urgent? Many of you all might feel like, man, I'm distracted by the urgent. The urgent is I'm living check to check. I'm living month to month. I don't have enough check to last me the month. And so I'm always trying to hustle and grind. So therefore, I can't really give my attention to what truly matters. Question number 13. What is one goal that excites and challenges you at the same time? What's something that when you think about it, you might get a little overwhelmed, but at the same time, you get a little excited? What's a goal that you have in mind? Question number 14. What small, consistent actions will move you closer to your vision? So when you think about, okay, what's important now? Am I distracted? What excites me? What challenges me? What are the small things that you can do? I often ask my clients, what would need to be true in order for you to take action on your vision? And then whatever they give me, I ask them again, what would need to be true in order for you to take action on that? And I keep drilling down to what would need to be true, what would need to be true, what would need to be true. So what small, consistent actions will move you closer to your vision? Question number 15. What are you currently saying yes to that you probably should be saying no to, right? So this is about priorities. What is taking up your time? What's taking up your focus? What's taking up your energy right now that you probably should be saying no to? So these are goals and priority questions. The last 5 questions I want to give you are mindset and growth questions. Question number 16. Where are you limiting yourself with fear or self-doubt? I firmly believe that every single one of us, that you are drifting towards fear, shame, or guilt. One of those 3. I call it a trifecta, like a triangle. You're drifting towards fear, you're drifting towards shame, you're drifting towards self-doubt. The question is, where in your life are you limiting yourself because of this fear, shame, and guilt, because of this self-doubt? So I can say, man, I'm really limiting myself as it relates to finishing my PhD, or I'm really limiting myself as it pertains to finishing my book, right? There's some fear, there's some shame, there's some guilt, there's some self-doubt there, right? So look at your life and say, in what areas are you really limiting yourself? Question number 17. What past failures or challenges have shaped you in a positive way? What are those things that you've been through, the rough patches of life that have shaped you in a positive way? Question number 18. How can you shift your mindset to see opportunities instead of obstacles? There's an old saying that says, we don't see life as it is, we see life as we are. So everything that you're seeing, whether you're seeing agony or whether you're seeing opportunity, is all based on perspective. What shift of mindset do you need to make so that you can now see opportunities instead of obstacles? Question number 19. What is one habit that you can develop that would drastically improve your life? Maybe it's in the area of faith, man, having a consistent time of meditation and prayer. Maybe it's in the area of finances, doing a budget and sticking to my budget and reviewing my budget every day. Maybe it's in the matter of fitness, walking for 45 minutes, exercising, doing resistance training, eating in a calorie deficit. Maybe it's in the area of your family, having family nights, date nights, dinner with my family. Maybe it's in the area of your future, your career, going back to school, staying up a little, getting up a little earlier, putting in the extra hours, doing the work. What habits can you develop that would drastically improve your life? I hope you're writing these things down. And then the last question for today's episode: what do you need to unlearn in order to move forward? Now, this is the reality in that while I'm giving you this information, a lot of times we don't have the ability to answer these questions on our own because we're just too close to the trees to see the forest. I'm asking you questions that are trying to call you to zoom out. But the reality is that some of us are so locked into our life, myself included, that it's very hard for me to see different perspectives. It's very hard for me to really gain a higher vantage point when I'm so close to the issues. That's why it's so important that you have a coach, because a coach can help you see the things that you don't see. They can call out your BS. They can see when you're lying to yourself and when what you're saying, what you said 5 minutes ago is not congruent or aligned with what you're saying right now. And so I want to encourage you that, yeah, go through these questions and write them out, but don't stop here. What I would love for you to do is check the show notes below and join my coaching community. We meet every Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I would love for you to join. We're a group of individuals that come onto Zoom, and I'm there, and we ask questions. There's hot seat. People can share what they're working on. They can ask questions, and I can give them feedback. It's a group coaching environment. It's a safe environment. The episodes are recorded. You can watch the recordings. I want to invite you to join that community. You can find that information in the show notes below. Listen, I hope that you actually do these questions. I can't wait to give you the other 20, but do these 20 right now. And then send me a message on LinkedIn or on Instagram, or maybe leave it in the comments here where you say, hey, I'm done. I did it. Let me know that you've done it. And if these questions are impactful for you, I would just ask that you would share this episode with your family and your friends so that they too can gain the needed clarity they need in order to go forward in life. Because even the greatest sniper can't hit the target in the fog. See you next time.